better listener probably in the last 4 years of my career. So you can imagine my career, I used to have a very small team, then I went to a 6-member team with 3 temps, and then I joined IT, where all of a sudden Norm gave me 40, 50 people. And from going from 6 perms, 3 temps to 40, 50 people, it was a big adjustment for me, right? And I knew that I needed to do something in order to become a better communicator when you have that many people. So what I did is I actually reached out to the HR Learning Center in San Diego. And they gave me a coach. And that coach is no longer with Qualcomm, but he was a Qualcomm employee. His name is Doug Bain, I believe. He actually gave me a little tip, to slow down and stuff like that, and how to slow down, right? And then what happened is when I started taking that and listening to him, I started being able to see some change in me, right? And with then seeing that change in me, I was able to say, wow, this is going to work. And then I tried different things, okay? So I want you to all understand that the #1 thing about communication, in my opinion, even though I'm not the best at it, is listening. So that's my thing. You really have to be an excellent listener. And if you can't do that, you're definitely going to have bad communication. God, I feel like I'm on a camera.
Yeah.
Dude, relax. Do you have to really take this video?
Yeah, we preserve this.
All right. So then the other thing is I wanted to tell you is back to my comment that I said before, where, treat people the way you want to be treated. In any organization, especially IT, you guys are all IT people, or is it mixed?
Yeah,
IT.
Okay, so in IT, this is what I told the IT group. We are bound to have a problem in IT, given. It's going to happen. We're in a service organization. Something's going to happen. Some server's going to go down, some application won't go on, it won't be compatible with the latest version of IE or whatever. It's bound to happen. And the only way we're going to come out of that problem is by working with us, all of us, as a team. The people that think that they can control their whole environment are the people that aren't going to move in IT. If you guys know IT, you know it requires everything from the network all the way to the application, all the way to the access to get it right. Something happened recently in Qualcomm, San Diego. We tried to identify the 16 critical applications or the 16 critical networks, and then you know what? We said, no, it's 16 critical services. Because when we use the word service, it encompasses everything. So now when I speak about Oracle, if I'm saying the Oracle ERP, then I'm only talking about the application. But if I'm talking to the business, I want to talk about the Oracle service, Oracle ERP service, right? Yeah, if there's a problem with the database, we want to talk to the DBA team, right? But when we're talking to the business, you want to stress that it's a service. And it's all of us that make that service. And I think if we can do that, we're powerful, right? We're this huge army of people that can solve any problem, right? So I stress my team now to call it services. And Brian Baker is very appreciative of that. Brian Baker's team is always behind us, supporting us. Without them, guys, we don't have anything. That's where it all starts, right? Just like when, I don't know if you guys know how we build a chip, but it's the hardware engineering team that starts the chip. If the foundation doesn't work, it doesn't matter how well your application. You have the best application that never goes on. That's what I tell people, right? You can have the best application that doesn't turn on. How good is that application? It's not good. So understand that it's very important that you guys talk to everybody within the organization. Do one-on-ones, Even those people that you think you have a difficult communication with them, the best thing to do is put them aside and say, listen, you and I aren't communicating well. I know it, right? You know the people that you'd like to communicate with, and you know the people you don't. Well, go work with some of those people that you don't feel is good communication, because that's what's going to teach you to be a better communication person in the future, right? A lot of people get comfortable and then just focus on that. Don't do what you're comfortable with. Do something that's uncomfortable and make it better. I knew I was a terrible listener. I admitted to you. Then I'm fixing it, right? So that's another important thing, right? Is start communicating. Start knowing what other people do. Because this is what I told somebody. If you treat someone the way you want to be treated, hopefully you like to be treated well. If you don't, then we have another problem. But if you really treat someone the way you like to be treated, when you need something from that person, they're going to do it for you. They're going to bend over backwards. And I can't do the same exercise that I did here in San Diego, but I'll tell you when I said that, people looked at me. And there was a guy sitting right over there. His name was Mark, right? And I go, Mark, what can you tell this team about me because you support me? He's a app admin for a lot of my apps, right? And he said, Robert, we don't know how you do it. You go around, talk to people, figure things out. you all make us feel like we're part of one team. It doesn't matter, you know, my team's called BCS, Q Globes, you know, there's all these teams, but it doesn't matter, it's one team. And I go around and I just talk to people. He goes, because when you call, it's hard to say no. And if that happens, then we are working as a unit. And I'm telling you, when we work as a unit, there's not one thing we can't solve. When we're working as individuals, you can't solve a lot, I'm telling you. There's too many things with this whole service that you won't be able to solve, right? And you'd rather have more friends than more enemies. I always tell people that, right? And communication sometimes is not, it's not hard, it's just practice, you know, and they'll help you maybe with some classes. I'm sure you guys have the same opportunities. Hopefully we have in San Diego. If we don't, we should see that. But you know, it's like if you guys are, God, it's warm in here. If you guys are trying to make this a Toastmaster or something, you know, because there's a term called